What's going on, guys? Tiana Nicole Burst here, and I wanted to cut this really quick video today. And I wanted to cut this video for a specific intention. And as you may notice, I'm sitting on my bed, and as you may notice, I have a picture above me. But I wanted to cut this video. Really, I wanted to train and do a full-on training on, number one, what it takes to make it happen in the traditional network marketing offline business. And the second part of that is, how can you do it online and save yourself time, energy, and money? And before I get into that, I want to give you my story. My story is this. I was 23. I was flat broke. I had just filed bankruptcy. I got into a new vocation, a traditional network marketing company. I hit the top of that company at the age of 23. My partner and I built a team of over 24,000 associates, earned a six-figure ring, and then really after the next couple of years after we hit that, everything changed. The organization started to go away. The income became placed on hold, and in layman's terms, we lost everything. But I learned something from that moment. I learned that I couldn't put all my eggs in one basket. And so in this training, I want to teach offline marketers what the hell to do. Number one, to generate pre-qualified leads. Now, there's a lot of people on the internet that talk about how they're gurus and how to generate leads and traffic, and that may or may not be true, but I want to share with you this, that generating just 10 leads per day that are laser targeted for your offline company can literally be a difference in making $100 in a month and $1,000 in a 30-day period of time. So I'm going to go through some steps in this video, and towards more of the end of this video, sharing those things with you. The second part is that, I'm going to teach you how to identify certain parts of companies that are good and that are not so good. And as you watch this video, I want you to really just develop a different kind of mindset. I don't want you to be physically and emotionally attached to the company that you're with, because sometimes we become blinded by the culture that's been built. I actually know, true story, I know someone who's been in an offline company for just over 10 years and really hasn't even probably made a dime for the last 5 years, and just maybe breaking even, but still will go to hotel meetings and do all the things that offline marketers do. And I don't want you to become that victim, because here, at the end of the day, yes, you can be a part of an atmosphere and be a part of a hotel meeting that literally, can make you feel better about who you are, but at the end of the day, the bottom line thing is, why are you doing it? I can bet you right now there are places you want to go, there are people you want to see, and quite frankly, there are people that you want to spend most of your time with that you probably can't right now. And one, because you're either working 8 to 9 to 5, and you just have a job, which is totally okay. And you may answer to a BOSS, which is double SOB backwards, spelled backwards, that's okay as well. But I know that part of you joined an offline company because you wanted time freedom, and you're led to believe that you can do it, and that it could at some point replace your full-time income. And at the end of the day, after 5, 6, 7 years, you're looking back and saying, how come it hasn't been created yet? Why am I still struggling? What is wrong with me that I can't make a difference in the lives of other people with my offline company? And I want to share with you right now that it's not your fault. And before the end of this video, I'm going to share with you why it's not your fault. Because you see, I was that person. See, for me, my story is a little bit different than the average person that deals in traditional offline marketing. For my first 3 months, I didn't make a dime. And then the next 3 months, I killed it. I went to the top of the company at 23 years of age, and really knew that that was just the beginning of my career. And after I generated $2,000 days, $17,000 in a month, what I ended up doing was really living out my dreams by creating my own magazine, traveling all across Northern California, speaking at universities. A university that actually didn't even accept me to go there. I was actually speaking in front of 300 people in a business club. And so I want you to think bigger at this moment. I don't want you to shrink your thinking and think that if you're in an offline company, that's all there is, because I want you to know something. I've been around top level leaders all of my life pretty much. And you know what? Getting into the industry of offline marketing was no different at all. As a matter of fact, I can tell you right now, there are people in offline companies that generated a six-figure ring like my partner and I did for 1 year, and they'll stay stagnant about $3,500 to $5,000 per month, and they'll stay in that company because that's what they see themselves worth. And it's not because of financial reasons, it's because of the culture. It's because of the company. It's because of the fear of loss. What if I go over here, and lose everything that I've built? Or what if you do some things differently and you go from 5,000 to 10,000? That's what I want you to receive as you watch the rest of this video. And I want to get right into it. Here's some things that I did that changed the game. You can go ahead and go to my Facebook page, which is Tiana Nicole, Tiana Burse actually, Facebook.com/Tiana.Burse. And, scroll down and you're going to see that over the last 30 days, just in the month of August, there have been 4 people just from my team alone in my offline company that I just got into less than 30 days ago, or a little over 30 days ago, I should say, where 4 of us, 4 new people on my team have hit the top of the company. And that was not only was that so powerful to do it so quickly within a 45-day period of time, but the fact of the matter is that we're 4 out of 150 nationwide. And my partner hit senior consultant, and let me tell you right now, that was the 1 out of only 25, right? 25 total hit it in nationwide, and he was one of the 25. So what I'm going to share with you works. Now, I want you to know this. I'm afraid of the telephone. As you watch my videos, you're going to get familiar with the fact that I hate the telephone. I don't like it. If I don't have to use it, I don't like to use it. And as a matter of fact, I actually avoid phone calls, quite frankly. There are people that have called me that are big, huge leaders, Jeffrey Combs, Les Brown, Marlon C. Smith, and sometimes I don't feel like answering the phone. It's not because of them. It's because I don't like talking on the phone. And so as you watch this, understand that what I've done with my group and my team in our new company, and what we've created, which is a mega culture, was all done from an internet-based standpoint. Now, yes, there are some moments where you have to pick up the phone to talk about how we did what we did, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like I was making 30 to 50 calls a day like I used to do. Now, I don't know if you can relate to me, but when I was achieving I would say that goal and that mission to go after go to the top of the company. My partner and I were going after the 6-figure ring. The fact of the matter is that we worked our tail off. Maybe you can relate. Strip malls, going to coffee shops, 3-foot rule, making 30 to 50 calls a day. There was one time when my partner made 100 calls in one day and got maybe 1 person enrolled. And I got to share with you, that shit is torture. That is torture. So if you're watching, as you watch this, I should say, the fact of the matter is that I know you can relate. And I'm speaking to literally traditional network marketers. And I know that sometimes it's hard for us to reprogram our mind because we're sold something different. Yes, I said the word sold. We're sold something different to our upline, sideline, and downline. Because I sold my team that they should just keep doing what they're doing. And their results sucked. But one thing that happened to me that became the game changer was I saw that nobody in the organization could duplicate what we did. And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. We were at the right place at the right time, and we basically were born with some different talents and worked on our leadership skills, and we were able to create that. But it wasn't fair that no one else was able to do that. I actually thought it pretty much sucked, and I thought it was unfair, and I just couldn't live like that anymore. So I started to research and really seek out how I can create more of a duplication process and attract quality leaders into my organization without me having to do the 30 to 50 calls a day, the 3-foot rule, the coffee shops, the strip malls, the Walmarts, the Targets. I was doing that so much I almost became an axe murderer and killed everybody. I mean, I did. Almost. Anyways. And so I started to research how to do some things, how to attract some quality leaders, because one thing that I noticed was that when the rejection rocket started to hit me really hard, and this was after we achieved the 6-figure ring, and things started to go away, and we're trying to hold on to what we knew we couldn't hold on to. And maybe you can relate. Maybe you're holding on right now. Maybe you're a top leader in a company, and maybe you hit a 6-figure income one year, and maybe 50% of that is gone, and you're holding on to that little that's what's left. And I got to tell you that I didn't want myself, my partner, to really hold on to something that wasn't going to work. The traditional way of building it wasn't going to work. And as a matter of fact, it reminded me of a book called Who Moved My Cheese? Things start to go away. You don't notice it because you're just caught in this daily routine, even in traditional network marketing. And all of a sudden you look up and everything's gone. And it's gone because we didn't notice that it was literally slipping through our fingertips the whole entire time, but we were so caught up in the meetings and the sit-downs and the PBRs that we didn't recognize that we could not keep it afloat. And I realized that it was time to make a change. And so I want to get right now into some cold hard facts about how you can build your business. Number one, on semi-autopilot. There's nothing that's obviously completely automatic, but I want to share with you this. Number one, you want to be able to not follow all the gurus that talk about traffic and this and that and have put out all this money, $37 here, $100 here, $200 here. You want to focus on a platform that has stood the test of time. And when I say test of time, meaning that they've had mega results with thousands of people, right? Because their information that they're outputting and giving out with their informational product and their platform is effective. Now, one of those things that I use the blogging platform that I use because you know what? At some point, even if you're doing traditional network marketing, I mean, how many times can you keep doing what you're doing and expect different results? It's 2013. If you are not utilizing technology, and I'm not talking about social media, I'm talking about technology to build your offline business, to attract leaders, attract leader growers, then you know what? You're not building a business. And you will continue to struggle because that's what you're choosing to do. See, I remember making a decision. I made a decision that I wasn't going to struggle and be a struggleaholic anymore. And that I was going to change the way I worked my offline company when I found the right one. And it took me years to find the right one. I just found it about 45 days ago. But the fact of the matter is that I built it learning different strategies, different marketing tools. You know, I was listening to an Inner Circle audio, and if you don't have it, I expect you to click the link below at the end of this training. Get in, pull out your credit card, invest in yourself, and learn different strategies to build your business outside of what I'm already going to share with you. So I was listening to the Inner Circle audio, and you know, I was listening to it, and it was talking about hypnotically selling people. And let me tell you right now, when I actually studied that audio for 3 days, I ended up recruiting 6 people within a 14-day period of time and help them get their 6 and help them get their 6 to create 4 regional consultants in 45 days. You guys, take 4 times 6. You're going to do the math of how many recruits that is in the first 45 days. But I didn't know how to do it until I listened to that Inner Circle audio. So I expect you to listen to it after you pull out your credit card and you buy. Another thing that I want to share with you is you want to be able to identify the right companies. If you're struggling right now in your offline company, you know, it's only your fault if you go outside of this audio and continue to be in that company that doesn't meet these requirements that I'm going to share with you. Here's some things that I looked for, and it took me years to find it. Number one, I looked for a company that wasn't already saturated. What does that mean? I looked for a company that wasn't in every single city, in every single state. That's number one. I wanted to look for a company that was literally only in a handful of states and was going to be launching in the other 40 states fairly soon. That's what I did. And so I found a company that was launching in my state, and I literally ran with it within 45 days. Hit the top of the company, doing everything online. Picked up the phone maybe 3 times. The second thing is you want to get into a company that you can outsource. One thing that I learned when I was building my offline company was that I couldn't outsource sitting down with someone to show them the membership. I couldn't outsource another company I was in that didn't last very long with me in it because I couldn't outsource the fact that I had to sit down with them and show them the product. You know, what kind of results I was having, what kind of results someone else was having. So you want to get into a company that you could outsource. And the third thing is the product or service somewhat free? Here's what I mean by that. If you're in a company where there's not a free service and the service isn't already habitually used and unconsciously paid, again, habitually used and unconsciously paid and is free for the consumer, and you still get paid offering that, then you need to jump ship and go to a different company. You need to find it, okay? Because too often we get caught up in this culture of this, network marketing companies that become saturated, and then you end up struggling, becoming a struggleaholic because you're emotionally attached to it. Here's a secret to success. I got this from someone who literally is a complete millionaire, and he said the day that you remove your emotions when it comes to looking at an opportunity or looking at a business is the day that you will start your path to success. Because there's no emotional attachment when it comes to achieving a 6-figure income in a network marketing company. Because what happens is that if it's someone that's done it before, then they're able to look at different lenses. There's no emotions tied to it. It's really about achieving an income and really taking the things that I just shared with you, basically testing them to see if those same things can be used in an offline company. And if it can't, then you move on to the next. We don't get, and I'll say this, I don't get, and we don't get emotionally tied to a company, because we know that if the goal is to make $30,000 per month, then we're going to go find the right company that actually I can do the things I just shared with you. Another part of building a business offline that I've done online is I'm able to laser target my traffic. I'm not looking to have 50 leads a day. I'm looking to have 10 laser targeted leads per day of people who are leader growers that literally, if half of them join my business, then I'm literally attracting those people that I'm looking for. Because I remember a time when I was on the phone constantly making calls, and I got to tell you, it was the worst thing in the world when I kept getting rejected after rejected after rejection after rejection after rejection, right? And the people who were rejecting me were worse off than I was, and not only that, but they were nasty, they were negative, they were fucking monsters on the other end of the telephone. And when, you know, things aren't going the way that you want it to go, that can really knock you out of the game. I've actually seen people who were so effective and so amazing at marketing themselves and sales and indirect selling, but literally could not stand the test of time because the rejection rocket had knocked them out of the game and they just could not deal with it. And I've seen people who would have been top leaders in the industry fall by the wayside because they couldn't handle it. And there's nothing worse than that, guys. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to deal with that when all things aren't going your way. When it's shitstorm after shitstorm after shitstorm, it takes a certain kind of person to deal with that, okay? And not everyone's built that way. I'm surprised I even, you know, stood the test of time. But I also had support. And I'm going to share that in another training. But those are some things that you can do right now. And I actually, you know, my recommendation to you right now as you watch this training is to click the link below, and I want you to go ahead and make a commitment to yourself that you're going to learn different skill sets, learn different strategies to build your offline business and give yourself the confidence that you deserve, while also sharing with the world your talents, your gifts. Because I always say this, don't ignore the music that you have inside of you, because what you have inside you is special. It's a gift that no one else possesses. And you know what? I use the offline industry as my vehicle. That landed me as a weekly columnist. That landed me as a talk show host. That landed me as, you know, being featured in the newspaper. That landed me as all these different things. But one thing I did, and I'll leave you with this in this training, one thing I did was I never branded a company. I branded myself. And that's something that I pride myself on. So as you watch this video, give yourself permission to brand yourself. And how do you do that? As you click the link below, you're going to learn the strategies that I've actually done and I'm still doing, and I'm learning by people who are making 20 grand a day to be able to have these things manifest. So listen, friends, I appreciate you watching this training. As you receive it, you might want to watch this just a few other times so you can really get what I said, because some of the things that I said was fast. I know I speak fast, but you may have still been listening slow. But let's go ahead and take yourself to the next level. I'll see you on the other side of this video. I appreciate you guys. You know who I am, Tiana Nicole Burst. Find me on Instagram, Tiana Nicole B. Find me on Facebook, Tiana.Burst. You can also find me on Twitter, @T for you know what, truth. And so I appreciate you. Behind the journey at yahoo.com, guys, and I see you on the other side. Peace.